Hey guys, welcome back to Ashley's Homestead Adventures. It's bright and early in the morning. We have a doggy grooming day today, so it'll be a bit split, but I'm headed out to do morning chores and try to get as much done as I can before I need to go to work. We have a lot going on today, and I don't know how much will get conveyed in the video, but I've got sourdough going inside the house. Right now it's on a 12-hour refrigerator rest. It's final ferment, and we have doggy grooming to do today. I need to attempt to hang a tarp to cover the hay that we put in the barn last night because we're afraid that having it sitting on the hay is going to cause condensation to build up underneath the tarp and actually mold the hay, which is defeating the purpose of covering it. So I've got to try to hang that, and we're also supposed to maybe have rain, which will kick us from being outside, harvesting in the garden, to inside. So we've got chores, projects to do, whether we're inside or outside. It makes no difference to me. There's plenty of work to do, so come along and work with me. It's funner when you come. The sheep pasture moved and filled up their waters, and fed the sheep and velvet inside this morning because we are supposed to have morning showers. And now we're headed to work. Had an early start to grooming today, which is good. Get the dogs done when it's cool, and the earlier you start work, the earlier you get off work. So super excited about my first dog. I get to do a Springer Spaniel puppy. Hopefully I'll get to share it with you. And then I have a regular customer, a returning customer. So that's also very, very exciting. We'll see what the day brings. So that was a very pretty, energetic, wonderful young girl that I got to groom today, and it was storming really bad when I got off work. So I just, basically ran to the house via the barn, and then it's later in the afternoon now, and it's quit storming for just a little while. Rogie was out here sleeping on the rug, but I have a very, very sad news to relay to you. In this storm, we lost a sunflower. These storms that just came through were pretty big, and tipped over this great big sunflower. So I'm gonna have to see if there's a way that I don't know if I can push it the other way. Maybe. There we go. That broke most of it off here. Yeah, it's broken off, So, I think I'm gonna see if, I don't know if the cows want to eat it. It's too big to use as a cut flower. I mean, this will be kind of cool because we'll be able to see just how big the heads are on these sunflowers. Yeah. I mean, that's a beautiful sunflower. It's a bummer. But, and also, if you guys have never seen the inside of a sunflower, I might as well show you because I'm not going to save this one. So after the sunflower dies, all this pollen falls off, and those are the seeds underneath. Look at the bumble. He's like, hey! So I'm gonna see if the cows want to eat it. It's the only thing I can think of to do with it. It's too big to put in the chicken coop. I mean, I could, but they're not going to be able to eat the stem. The cows can gnaw on it if they want to. No, the cows are eating it. Okay. Chores are done for the most part. And the cats are enjoying their new fort. So we are concerned that if you tarp hay here, that because it's so humid that the condensation will build up and still the hay will mold even underneath the tarp. So what we have done, because the roof leaks a little bit, you can see, oh, this is a good example. So you can see in the calf pen all of the places where the roof leaks. It's basically, I mean, every screw hole of the tin leaks. And you can, I mean, you can even see daylight in some of the holes, which is okay. I'm not complaining about my barn. My barn is awesome. But we have struggled with keeping hay dry in here, and we found that tarping it is not working. The condensation builds up. So we're gonna try this. We're gonna try having a tarp up along the ceiling, and but not touching the hay, so it keeps the water off of the hay. The water will run off away from the hay, and hopefully, fingers crossed, this will work. The lights kind of threw me for a little bit of a loop, but what I will have to do is, if I decide to go further out, is I'll just have to run another tarp like right here and leave enough space to where it doesn't touch the light. As you can see on this side, there's, you know, a lot of room. There's like 2.5 feet in between that light bulb and that tarp. And I made sure that it's actually tied up in the middle too. No, you can see it, but it's tied up there too to keep it away from the light. So that project's done. I don't believe I'm going to be needing this tarp. I'm not worried about this bale of hay because I'm feeding it right now, and it is it's already been rained on. So everybody is complaining and moaning about being inside, but you guys hate the rain, so I apologize. If I put you outside and it starts raining, you go all frantic and weird and worried because you want to come inside because you don't like rain. Because you're spoiled. Spoiled, aren't you? Yes. Spoiled, aren't you? So, for those of you who don't know, this is Matey. Matey has kind of a Murley spot on the back of his head. Then Hansel doesn't really have much of any markings on his head. And Gretel has 2 dots, one on the front, one on the back. And then of course R is the white lamb. So R and Matey belong to Reese's, who is right here. Ouch! Gretel! And Gretel and Hansel belong to Vanilla, who is back there by the fan. And Oreo has not lambed yet. Poor girl is probably going to lamb in August. Ow! They're chewers, and I don't have any pants on. I have shorts on today. Wardrobe change. So, it's my second wardrobe change of the day. Probably not the last. But anyway, these guys are forward. What a booger in your nose. Nady and I are pretty close because of Reese's rejected him when he was like 24 hours old. And I had to spend a lot of time getting him linked back up to her. I did not end up having to keep him as a bottle baby. Gretel, you're a biter. Stop biting. No ma'am. Well, she's got to learn not to bite because I'm keeping her. She will replace Reese's. But Nady is very, very loving, and they all are really, but Nady especially, because we bonded a little bit more than everybody else. Gretel, that's not how it works, love. There's R in the background. Sheep games. Sheep games. Huh. Yeah. All right, you guys, I gotta get back to work. So they're enjoying the fan, and I have got to go down and get feed. Did you see I bought you a pool? Huh, Epps? Did you see your pool? I just filled it up for you. Look what I got you. I got you a pool. Check that out. I got you a pool. What do you guys think? Huh? Yeah. Heck yes. Yeah. Maybe it's not quite big enough for both of you, but yeah. Get in there, Eppy. Eppy, come on. Come on, there you go. Oh, doesn't that feel nice? Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah, that's nice, huh? Yeah. Good way to cool off, huh? Yeah? You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. I know, it's not a super hot day today. The storms brought some cool weather, which has been really nice this afternoon. So I got the feed unloaded, and obviously their swimming pool unloaded, and got dinner tonight and breakfast tomorrow morning made up. And then got some weedy whacking done. And in case you ever wondered what it looks like in the interim, this is it. It's a mess. And this is every week. But it's just part of living here. Grass grows like mad dog here. And that's okay. I've been telling you guys that I am going to save these. And so I wanted to, these are mustard greens that have gone to seed, and I wanted to save the seed, and it told me to wait until I started seeing the chaffs or the seed pods turn, which these are turning, right? And then they break open, you know, easy. But you want to wait until they start turning before you cut them and hang them somewhere inside where you know, that's controlled. And one of the big things was, let's see, there we go. The reason why is because you want the seed to mature. And so that is a brown seed. You'll see on some of these, they said brown, yellow, and then sometimes on certain plants they can be pink. But the seeds in some of these are still green. You see that little seed that popped off, and there's one right there. Whoa, right there. There's a green one right there. There's also a brown one. So I've been waiting, and now is the time for me to go ahead and get these harvested and hang them up. And I will hang them up in the garage. And then I will start the tedious chore of breaking all of the holes and allowing the seeds to be released and capturing the seeds so that I have mustard seeds to make mustard, which I'm excited about. Mr. Wonderful is a mustard connoisseur, if you will. He loves mustard and is a little bit picky about mustard. So I would really like to make him a stone ground mustard that I can and preserve, and it would be really cool if I could produce enough mustard seeds to make him his own mustard. I don't know if it's going to be worth it. That's one of those, it's one of those things that I'm not positive that it will be worth it, but what I do want to do is I want to see if I can do it so that if the time ever arises where I don't have an option and we have a mustard shortage in the world, it's not unspeakable. There's a lot of things that have come up as, you know, we're having a shortage or haven't been on the shelves that none of us would have ever thought. So I want to learn how to can Mr. Wonderful's mustard. Something that I can do as his wife for him, and so there you go. That's why I'm saving those. And it was, I mean, it's whimsical and beautiful in the garden, so I didn't mind saving it. Also, because I'm sure you guys are going to wonder, we got about 1.75 inches worth of rain today in the storms that blew through. I'm going to leave that in case we get more. I'll dump it out in the morning. I need to preheat my oven to 500 degrees. I am going to remove this rack. And then I'm going to get my Dutch oven. Okay, he's in there. And now he gets to preheat to 500 degrees for 1 hour. The sourdough is in this bag in a bagnette, and it's on its second ferment, or, you know, rise. And it's been there since this morning. I fed my starter yesterday morning, and then yesterday evening I mixed the dough and then stretched and folded it 3 times 30 minutes apart. So I mixed the dough, let it rest for 30 minutes, stretched it, went 30 minutes, stretched and fold, went 30 minutes, stretched and fold. And then I let it sit on the stove with a tea towel over it overnight to bulk ferment. Then I took it out. I shaped it and put it in a bagnette and put it in the fridge for its second ferment for 12 to 15 hours. And now we're preheating the oven. The oven will preheat at 500 degrees for an hour with the Dutch oven inside of it. I will take out the sourdough loaf and I will dump it out of the bagnette on a piece of parchment paper. Go ahead and score it I'll flour the top of it and then score it, and then it will go into the Dutch oven. The lid will go back on the Dutch oven and it will go into the oven. That's where we're at. Okay, garden progress. I'm already one wheelbarrow down to the chickens, and squash is getting pretty thinned out. You know, I'm just taking any dead disease leaves off of them, any broken leaves. The ones that are still producing are staying, but as you can see, the garden is starting to really open up again, which is exciting because we'll be planning and planting our fall garden here real soon. I did rip one out right here. This was one of the patty pans. And as you can see, in the process of doing that, I've broken a lot of these leaves, so these guys are probably all gonna die. But that thing was massive. Got the rest of the cauliflower out, and now I'm just working on what's left of the weeds and the onions. But it is time to go in and do our thing with the sourdough. Don't mind that. The neighbors are target practicing. Friday night fun. They are shooting their guns and being American. I love it. These are winter squash. These are the Odessas. They were ready to harvest. A couple more acorns, patty pans. There's some, you know, edible size zucchini in there that I went ahead and harvested. So good stuff. Good stuff. I wanted to show you guys this too. Look at that little baby. So I'm gonna go in and get cleaned up really quick, so that I'm good to handle anything in the kitchen, and be right back with you. Okay, I have scored my dough. Looks beautiful. And my oven, my Dutch oven is out of my big oven, and I'm gonna get the bread in there like so. Put the very hot lid on. All this stuff is 500 degrees, you guys, okay? And in the oven it'll go. There it is. Set the timer for 20 minutes, and then we'll come back, take the lid off, and cook for another 20 minutes or so. And back to the garden we go. Oh, I'm going to continue working on this mess. At this point, I'm starting to lose onions because, you know, it's just, they're rotting. So I need to get these onions out ASAP. So we'll be back in the kitchen before you know it. I'll meet you there. Okay. I have removed the lid and dropped the temperature to 475, and it's going to cook for another 15 minutes. And I'll check it there. It's 15 to 25. I was a little late getting in because I was out feeding. So I'm gonna start with 15 and see where it's at. It may be done at 15. If it needs longer, I can give it longer. So it's looking beautiful. And in the meantime, I gotta clean up my harvest from the garden. So this is the harvest for today from the garden. And most of it I'm gonna treat like winter squash. And I've got some winter squash in the house drying and curing, and there's different people do it different ways. Some people leave it on their porch to cure, so I'm gonna try that. My kitchen table is full of squash right now, so I'm gonna let the winter squash hang out here and see how it does. And the little zucchinis, obviously these guys right here, they will go into the house and go in the fridge. But everybody else is considered a winter squash at this point. The patty pans are not supposed to be, but you can't pierce their skin. They're hard now, so I might just end up using them as decoration. I'm not sure. I might see how hard they are to dice up and use them, but for right now, I'm going to treat them like winter squash because I have a lot of summer squash in the house that I need to deal with before I move on to the winter squash. This stuff will hold. And sometimes, you guys, that's the juggle. That is the cartwheel through summer for us gardeners. It is the burden of abundance is tough sometimes, but you've got to be able to just be like, I'm going to deal with this stuff, and this other stuff can wait. The winter squash, it'll hold. So I am going to, it cracks me up every time I hear a big boom, and then like 1 or 2 seconds later I hear the ting of whatever it is that they're shooting at. They're target practicing, so it's metal, or it sounds like metal. So anyway, I'm sorry, it just tickles me. I always want to go, nice shot. But anywho, the summer squash, I have a ton of it to deal with, so I'm going to deal with it first. The winter squash, it'll hold. So that's how you just kind of, delegate and prioritize what needs to be done now and what can be done tomorrow. Oh, wow. This might be the prettiest loaf I've ever made. Let me get it out. Wow. That is a thing of beauty. That is probably the prettiest sourdough I've ever made. So I am going to let it rest out here, and then I will take it to its home tomorrow. It is not mine. It is going to some neighbors of mine. So I appreciate you guys coming along with me today, everywhere that we were today on the farm. I hope you had a beautiful day, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Yours truly.